They never expected it to last this long. A simple story about a girl, her horse, and a broken family turned into one of the most loved shows on television. But now, something is happening that no one saw coming. After all these years, the heart of Heartland is beating once again, and it all starts with two familiar faces. Back where it all began, when Heartland first aired in 2007, no one knew it would become a show that millions of people around the world would grow up with, cry over, and hold close to their hearts. It wasn't just about horses or ranch life. It was about family, about healing, about second chances. The story centered on Amy Fleming, a young girl who had just lost her mother in a tragic accident. She was left with a broken heart, a frightened horse, and a family that didn't always know how to stick together. But she also had a gift, a deep, almost magical connection with horses, and that gift became the light that guided the rest of the story. From the very beginning, Heartland offered something different. It didn't rely on explosions, crime, or dark twists. Instead, it gave viewers peaceful landscapes, honest conversations, and quiet but powerful emotions. The show was filmed in Alberta, Canada, and the real beauty of that land helped make Heartland feel like a real place. A place fans wanted to visit. A place they could escape to, especially when their own lives felt confusing or painful. One of the reasons the show became so powerful was because of its characters, especially Amy and Ty. When Ty Borden first showed up at the ranch, he was angry, closed off, and carrying a lot of pain. He had been in trouble with the law. He didn't trust anyone. But little by little, through working with horses and getting to know Amy, he started to change. Their relationship wasn't fast or easy, but it was real. They fought, they struggled, they learned from each other, and slowly, they fell in love. Watching their story unfold over the years made fans feel like they were growing up. Right beside them, Amber Marshall, who plays Amy, and Graham Wardle, who played Ty, had a kind of natural connection on screen that can't be faked. You could feel it in their smiles, in their silences, and in the way they looked at each other when no words were needed. It's rare to find a TV couple that feels as real as they did. Fans didn't just root for them, they saw their own relationships reflected in them. Some fans even say that watching Amy and Ty helped them heal from their own heartbreaks. But Heartland wasn't just about Amy and Ty. It was also about the people around them, like Grandpa Jack, who gave wisdom without ever raising his voice, or Lou, Amy's older sister, who tried so hard to balance career, family, and love. Tim, their wild and complicated father. Georgie, the brave foster child who found her place in the family. And later, little Lindy, Amy and T's daughter, who became a symbol of hope after so much loss. Every character had their own struggles, their own dreams, their own quiet moments of growth. And over time, we got to see them all change in ways that felt honest and true. One of the most beautiful things about Heartland is that it never rushed. It took its time. In a world where most shows get canceled after 1 or 2 seasons, Heartland kept going. Season after season, it gave us stories about grief, love, forgiveness, and the bond between humans and animals. It became a safe space for so many people, a show that didn't just entertain, but comforted. Even now, fans still rewatch the early seasons, remembering when Amy was just a teenager and Ty was trying to figure out who he was. They remember the moments that made them cry, like when Spartan was hurt, or when Amy almost gave up. And they remember the moments that made them smile, like the barn dances, the weddings, the quiet rides through open fields. Over the years, Heartland became more than a TV show. It became a tradition, a part of people's lives. Families would sit together and watch it every week. Kids grew up with it. Some people even say it helped them through depression, grief, or divorce because, at its core, Heartland was always about one thing: hope. The idea that no matter how broken things get, there's always a chance to heal, to grow, to find love again. And now, after all these years, that hope is rising again. Because season 19 isn't just another chapter. It's something more. Something fans have been quietly wishing for, even when they thought it would never happen. Graham Wardle is back. Amber Marshall is smiling. The ranch is alive again. And something truly unforgettable is about to begin. They say some characters never really leave, even after they're gone. Borden was one of them. He didn't just write into Heartland as another face in the cast. He became the soul of the show for millions of fans. So when he died, it didn't feel like just a plot twist. It felt like losing a friend, a brother, a partner, someone who had walked beside us for over a decade. Season 14 of Heartland opened with a quiet, shocking heartbreak. Ty, who had survived so much, a rough childhood, foster homes, fights, fires, injuries, and even a gunshot, finally lost his battle. The blood clot took him suddenly, and just like that, he was gone. The screen faded to black, and with it, a piece of Heartland seemed to disappear. For fans who had followed his journey from the very beginning, it was more than unexpected. It was devastating. Ty was a fighter, a healer, a loyal husband, and a loving father. We had watched him grow from a troubled teenager to a man who stood tall beside Amy through every storm. His death didn't just leave Amy alone. It left the entire audience grieving. But what many people didn't know at the time was that Graham Wardle, the actor who played Ty, had made a deeply personal choice. After over 200 episodes and more than a decade of dedication, he felt it was time to step away. He wanted to explore new parts of his life, other creative paths, deeper spiritual work, and personal healing. It wasn't an easy decision. He loved Heartland. He loved the fans. But like Ty himself, Graham had reached a turning point, and he chose to leave with grace and honesty. The showrunners and cast respected his choice, even though they knew it would change everything. Amber Marshall, who had worked alongside Graham since she was 18 years old, spoke openly about how hard it was to film those scenes without him. In interviews, she shared how real the loss felt. It wasn't just acting, she said. We were really saying goodbye. And that's what made it so powerful and so painful. Amy's grief in season 14 wasn't just a script. It came from a real place. Watching her struggle to raise Lindy alone, to find purpose in a world that felt empty, hit home for so many fans. The silence at the breakfast table, the empty space in the barn, the way Jack, Tim, Leo, and Georgie all tried to help, but couldn't fill the hole he left behind. It was raw, honest, and deeply human. At the same time, some viewers couldn't accept it. Many fans wrote letters, sent emails, and flooded social media, begging for Ty to come back, somehow, in any way. A dream sequence, a flashback, a voice, message, anything. Some were angry, others were simply heartbroken. For them, Ty and Amy were the heart of Heartland. Losing him felt like the end of the show. But here's the truth. Heartland has always been about life, in all its beauty and its pain. Just like in the real world, sometimes we lose the people we love most. And sometimes we have to find a way to keep going, even when everything inside us wants to stop. That's what Amy did. That's what the show did. It didn't rush the grief. It sat with it. It honored it. And slowly, quietly, it showed us how healing begins, not in grand speeches, but in simple moments a ride through the fields, a smile from Lindy, a memory that hurts, but also comforts. Season 14 and 15 were filled with these moments. Amy learning to be strong not just for Lindy, but for herself. The family leaning on each other. The ranch, still standing, still breathing, even with one less heartbeat. And through it all, T's presence never really disappeared. His photo stayed on the wall. His horse still roamed the fields. His name was still spoken, softly, carefully, like a prayer. Fans started to understand. Maybe T's journey had ended, but his legacy hadn't. And neither had the love story he shared with Amy. Because real love doesn't vanish. It lives in the choices we make, the memories we carry, and the strength we find when we think we have none left. Graham Wardle, too, continued to honor the fans in his own quiet way. He launched his podcast Time Has Come, where he spoke about personal growth, change, and letting go. He never spoke badly about the show. In fact, he often thanked the fans for walking beside him all those years. And even though he had stepped away, his bond with Amber Marshall and the rest of the cast remained unbroken still. The ache never fully faded. Every time Amy looked out across the ranch, fans saw what was missing. Every time Lindy asked about her dad, hearts broke all over again. And every time the theme music played, people remembered what had been lost. But here's the thing about great stories. They don't just end. They echo. They return. And sometimes, when you least expect it, they give you a second chance. And now, as season 19 begins, whispers are turning into certainty. Graham Wardle is back. What that means for Ty, and for all of us, is still unknown. But one thing is clear. His story isn't finished. Not yet. It started with a whisper, a fan theory, a half-remembered Instagram post. But by the time the rumors began to swirl, they weren't just rumors anymore. They were something much more powerful. Something fans couldn't ignore. And deep down, many of us, whether we wanted to admit it or not, had already started to believe it. Ty Borden was coming back. The signs were subtle at first. Amber Marshall, ever the professional, posted a cryptic picture of her and Graham from the Heartland set. It wasn't anything obvious, just a candid photo of two friends sharing a quiet moment, perhaps during a break from filming. But the fans noticed. They always do. The way Amber smiled. The way Graham's eyes seemed to hold a secret. It felt different. It felt like more than just a behind-the-scenes snap. Then came a few quiet interviews. On the surface, nothing extraordinary. Just Amber talking about what it was like to film season 19 without giving away too much. But if you listened closely, really listened, you could hear the excitement in her voice. The way she spoke about the future, about what was next for the characters, made it clear that something big was coming. And fans, they started to connect the dots. There were whispers on social media, in fan groups, and in comment sections. Is Ty coming back? Could this be the return we've been waiting for? And as those whispers spread, so did the hope. But here's the thing about Heartland. It's not just a show. It's a family. And within that family, nothing is ever truly kept secret. The cast and crew were all tight-lipped. They knew the weight of what this could mean for the fans. They knew that the return of Ty Borden could break the internet. It could turn the world of Heartland upside down. So, the rumors remained unconfirmed, for a while. At least, fans kept reading into every tiny detail, searching for clues hidden in interviews or social media posts. There was a sense of anticipation in the air, like waiting for a storm to break. Everyone felt like they were on the edge of something huge, but no one knew exactly what. Then came the official announcement. Filming for season 19 had begun, and suddenly, everything changed. The rumors weren't just rumors anymore. The truth was out there, and it was far bigger than anyone had imagined. There, on social media, in front of a camera for the first time in years, Graham Wardle stood with Amber Marshall, smiling, relaxed, and back where it all started. The moment was brief, a short clip posted on the official Heartland channels. But it was enough. It didn't matter that they didn't give away any spoilers. It didn't matter that Graham didn't say much. The fact that he was there, standing next to Amber, in front of the familiar ranch house that had been home to so many of us, was all it took. The internet exploded. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook with messages of pure joy. Is this real? I can't believe it. Ty is back. Every post was more excited than the last. People who had followed Heartland for years and people who had never imagined a Heartland reunion were all reacting the same way, with shock, happiness, and disbelief. For so long, it felt like T's death was the end of a chapter no one wanted to close. And now, that chapter was being reopened in a way no one expected. But the questions began immediately. What would T's return mean? Would it be a dream sequence, flashbacks, a time travel twist? Was it a new storyline or some sort of final farewell? Fans debated everything. The possibilities felt endless, but so did the uncertainty. Heartland had always been a show that valued authenticity, that grounded its stories in real emotions. So whatever the writers had planned for season 19, it was going to be emotional. It was going to be deep. And it was going to matter. Even the cast couldn't stop talking about it. Amber Marshall, in an emotional interview, couldn't hide her excitement. It's been such an emotional journey for all of us, she said. But seeing Graham on set again, it was like coming home. Her voice cracked with emotion, and for a moment, fans could feel the bond that had never really broken. Not between the characters, and not between the actors. Ty might have left the show, but his spirit never did. And now, that spirit was coming back to life. For Graham Wardle, his decision to return wasn't a simple one. He had spent years away from Heartland, pursuing new passions, diving deeper into his own personal growth, and hosting his podcast. Time has come. His departure from the show was always about moving forward, not leaving behind what had been. But when the call came, when the producers reached out, asking if he would consider returning, he knew it was the right moment. It wasn't just about revisiting the past. It was about offering closure, about bringing Ty back in a way that honored the character, the fans, and the legacy of Heartland itself. As season 19 filming began, there was a quiet energy on set that was impossible to ignore. The whole crew knew this was a turning point, a moment that would define the future of the show. And yet, as much as they were excited, there was a sense of caution, too. Everyone knew how much the fans had invested in Heartland, how deeply connected people were to Amy and T's journey. This wasn't just another season. This was something more, something bigger, something that would either make hearts soar or break them all over again. With each day of filming, the anticipation grew. The set buzzed with excitement, but also with respect for the legacy of Ty Borden and for the future of Heartland itself. No one could predict exactly how the story would unfold, but they all knew one thing. It was going to be unforgettable. It's the question that's on everyone's mind. What happens next? After years of longing, of wondering, of hoping, the moment has finally arrived. Ty Borden is back. But how? Why? And what will this new chapter mean for Amy, Lindy, and the entire Heartland family? The truth is, no one really knows. Not for sure. But that's what makes this moment so thrilling. This isn't just another season. It's a chance to see the past and the future collide to feel the old heart of Heartland beat again, stronger than ever. The mystery is what makes it so exciting. We don't know exactly how Tai will return, and that uncertainty only makes the anticipation even sweeter. Will he appear in a dream sequence, reaching out to Amy in her time of need? Or will he return in the flesh, a living, breathing presence that defies everything we thought we knew? Could he return in flashbacks, helping Amy work through the grief that's been haunting her since his loss? Or perhaps this is something altogether different, a creative choice that will push the boundaries of what Heartland can do, while still staying true to its roots. What we do know is that this return is going to be emotional. T's return isn't just about a character coming back. It's about the entire Heartland family coming together again. For Amy, the stakes are personal. Her journey without Tai has been one of immense growth. She's learned how to be a mother, a daughter, and a woman who can carry her grief, but also her joy. She's learned that while love never truly disappears, the people we lose shape us in ways we might never expect. And now, with T's return on the horizon, Amy is going to be forced to confront all of that, to reconcile the woman she is now with the girl she was when Tai was by her side. The love story that fans cherished will be reignited, but in a new, raw, and unexpected way. It's not just Amy's journey that will take center stage in season 19. T's return will shake things up across the entire ranch. Grandpa Jack will undoubtedly feel the impact. His tough exterior might soften when he's faced with the unexpected return of his grandson, the boy who grew up under his watchful eye, becoming a man. Jack has always been the heart of the ranch, but this will challenge him in ways we haven't seen before. The love and support Jack gave to Tai over the years was unconditional. He wasn't just his grandfather, he was his guide, his mentor, his father figure. And now, Jack will have to navigate the tricky waters of helping Amy heal, while also supporting the new dynamic between Tai and Lindy. How will Jack balance his grief with the hope that T's return brings? For Tim, it's a different kind of challenge. He has always been the wild card of the family, a man whose heart is as big as his mistakes. Tim's relationship with Tai was never simple at first. Tim struggled to connect with the young man who was so different from his own sons. But over the years, they developed a bond of their own, a quiet respect for each other. With T's return, Tim will be forced to reckon with his own past, his mistakes as a father, and the fact that, after everything, Heartland still stands. Will Tim be able to step into a more supportive, open role in T's return? Or will his old patterns emerge, causing tension in an already fragile family dynamic? Then there's Lindy, the little girl who only knew her father in memories, in stories, in photos. Lindy's world changed when Tai died. But as she grows, there's a part of her that still carries a piece of him in her heart. What will it mean for her to have her father, the man she's only heard about, suddenly come back into her life? The innocence of a child's love is unconditional, but the reality of who Tai is now, a man changed by time, by absence, by growth, will be something Lindy will have to navigate. Will she be able to accept this new version of her father? Or will the child in her simply yearn for the dad she's only known in her dreams? The entire ranch will feel the ripple effect of T's return. But the heart of this new chapter will undoubtedly be the relationship between Amy and Tai. The bond that made their love story unforgettable will be tested. They won't just pick up where they left off. Life doesn't work like that. Amy has grown, and so has Tai. He's no longer the boy who stumbled onto Heartland looking for redemption. He's a man with new experiences, new perspectives, and a deeper understanding of the world around him. The relationship between them will evolve, a new chapter in their love story, yes, but one that respects the history they share. Expect deep, soul-searching moments, raw and honest conversations, and moments of deep tenderness as these two try to find their place in each other's lives once more. The return of Borden also means one thing. Heartland is returning to its roots. This show will always be about family, healing, and the unbreakable bond between people and animals. But Season 19 promises to take those themes to new, unexpected places. T's return won't just be a happy reunion. It will be a journey of healing, not just for Amy and the rest of the family, but for Ty himself. After all, it wasn't just Amy who was left broken. T's time away from the show has undoubtedly changed him in ways we can't fully understand. Yet, as he re-enters the world of Heartland, we'll be seeing a new version of Ty, one who has had to heal, grow, and become something more than the man who walked away. Fans can expect laughter. They can expect tears. They can expect joy. But above all, they can expect a story that feels honest, real. That's the magic of Heartland. No matter how big or small the story, no matter how heartbreaking or joyful the moments, this show has always been about the kind of love and pain that makes us human. It's not just a return to a beloved show. It's a return to a family, a home that so many have been longing for. And for those who have stuck with Heartland through thick and thin, this new chapter promises to be worth the wait. In the world of Heartland, there are no simple answers. There are no perfect endings. There is only life, with all its beauty, pain, and complexity. And when Borden returns to the ranch in Season 19, it will not be to fix what's been broken. It will be to continue a journey, one that we all started together so many years ago. This isn't just T's return. It's the return of everything that makes Heartland the beloved show it has become. The love, the loss, the family, and the healing. For fans who have followed this journey, since Ty first walked onto a Heartland ranch as a troubled teenager, this moment is everything. We have witnessed so many of these characters grow, stumble, and rise again. We have celebrated their victories and mourned their losses. And now, as we prepare for the return of Ty, we are reminded of why we fell in love with this show in the first place. It's not just about the drama or the horses. It's about the people, the raw, real, beautiful people who feel like family. When Ty left in Season 14, it felt like a part of the Heartland family was lost forever. His death wasn't just a plot twist. It was a deep, emotional wound for everyone involved. But what makes Heartland different from many other shows is its ability to heal. It doesn't shy away from the painful moments, but it also shows us that healing is possible, even in the darkest of times. T's return is symbolic of that healing. It's not just about one man coming back to the ranch. It's about the show's belief that no matter how much time has passed, no matter how much pain we carry, we can always find our way back to the people who matter most. The return of Graham Wardle as Ty doesn't just signify the continuation of a character's story. It represents a reunion with the fans. For years, we've wondered if we'd ever see Ty again, if we'd ever get the chance to witness the love story between Amy and Ty come full circle. And now, that dream is about to come true. But this return isn't a simple return to the past. It's about bringing the characters into the future, allowing them to grow, heal, and redefine their relationships in new and surprising ways. For Amy, T's return is a bittersweet blessing. She has learned how to live without him, how to carry their memories while continuing to raise their daughter, Lindy. But seeing him again, no matter how he returns, will be an emotional roller coaster. She will have to navigate the delicate balance between the woman she is now and the woman she was when Ty was by her side. But that's what makes Amy's story so powerful. It's about resilience. It's about healing from grief, but never forgetting the love that came before it. T's return will force Amy to look back, yes, but it will also push her forward, helping her find new strength and new depths of love. For the rest of the Heartland family, T's return will also be a test. Jack, Lou, Tim, Georgie, and Lindy all have their own relationships with Ty, some close, some complicated, but no matter where they stand, the return of Ty will ripple through their lives in profound ways. Jack will feel the return of a beloved grandson. Tim will be forced to reconcile his own past mistakes. Lou will confront the reality that time moves on, but memories never fade. And little Lindy, who never had the chance to know her father fully, will experience a reunion that will challenge the very idea of what family means. But more than anything, T's return will remind us all of the heart of Heartland, the love between a family that endures no matter what life throws its way. The truth is, Heartland has always been about more than just the ranch, the horses, or the farm life. It's about the ties that bind people together, those invisible threads that connect us, even when we're apart. And that's what makes T's return so special. It's not just about bringing a character back for the sake of a plot. It's about reminding us of the love, the memories, and the connections that stay with us, even when the people we love are no longer physically present. As season 19 unfolds, the emotional journey will be both uplifting and challenging. Expect moments of laughter, of tears, of healing. Expect moments that will take you back to the very first time you watched Heartland, when it felt like you were discovering something new and deeply meaningful. And as Ty returns, expect your own emotions to rise and fall with every twist, turn, and heartfelt moment. The return of Ty Borden will be a reminder that love, in all its forms, never truly ends, and perhaps that's the most important lesson Heartland can teach us, that even in the face of loss, love remains. It echoes through time, it endures, it heals, and it always finds a way back to those who need it most. Season 19 is not just a reunion with an old friend. It's the beginning of a new chapter, where the past, present, and future of Heartland come together in ways we've been waiting for, hoping for, and dreaming of. So, as we prepare for the emotional roller coaster that lies ahead, one thing is certain: Ty Borden's return will be nothing short of extraordinary. And for Heartland fans, this is the homecoming we've been waiting for.